Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Madam Assistant Secretary. It's good to see you. This is an important topic, and I've tried to dig into it, and I'm going to submit some questions for the record. But I want to use my time to discuss a couple issues regarding Americans detained in Iran, an American lawyer recently detained in the UAE, and what you're doing to get to the full truth and accountability in the shooting death of an American journalist in the West Bank, all part of your jurisdiction. I am satisfied that the administration is doing everything it can to gain the release of the Americans that are detained in Iran. I have less confidence, at least at this moment, that the administration is doing everything it can to ensure due process in the case of Asim Ghafoor. As you know, he was tried and convicted in absentia with no notice of the charges alleging money laundering. He was then arrested in Dubai en route to a family wedding in Istanbul. He's been sentenced to 3 years and then more. He has been denied bail and denied access to American lawyers. So in the interest of time, I just ask you for a couple of commitments. Will you meet with his American lawyers before the Tuesday hearing? And they're willing to make themselves available at your convenience.
Yes, I think I just had, we just got that request yesterday, and yes, I can do so.
Thank you. And can you keep myself and members of the committee posted on the progress with respect to due process?
Absolutely. As you're probably aware, Deputy Assistant Secretary Daniel Benaim is following this minute by minute, and he is keeping me briefed on this, but absolutely.
I appreciate it. I had a conversation some time ago with Brett McGurk over the National Security Council. I just, you're a former ambassador to the UAE, you know a lot of the players. I just think it's outrageous that he's been denied due process. He was arrested pretty much around the time the president was in the region, a slap in the face. Let me go on to the killing of American journalist Shireen Abu Akleh in the West Bank on May 11th. Secretary Blinken has repeatedly called for a, quote, an independent, credible investigation and for accountability. President Biden has said the same. Just a simple yes or no question. Is that still the position of the Biden administration? The need for an independent, credible investigation.
We have asked that there be a credible investigation.
The Secretary's on record a couple of times calling for an independent investigation. That's a quote.
I will have to come back to you on that, Senator, because that has not been my understanding of where our position was, but okay. Let me clarify.
Well, I think you're going to find a number of members very disappointed if that's the case. On June 23rd, 24 senators, including yes. Senators Murphy and Shaheen and others, wrote to the president asking for not only an independent investigation, but making it clear that that would require U.S. involvement. And just last week, the SFOP's appropriations bill that was released contains similar language, calling upon the administration to have U.S. involvement. On July 12th, a group of SFOP subcommittee members, including Senators Leahy, Murphy, Durbin, and myself, sent a follow-up letter to Secretary Blinken. Have you seen that one?
I have not.
I urge you to look at that. I mean, this is why a lot of us are concerned well, a lot of us are concerned that this is not getting the attention it deserves. If you're, as Assistant Secretary, haven't seen it, we asked for information regarding the report by the U.S. Security Coordinator. Mm-hmm. Have you seen that report?
Not in full. I've been briefed on it. I was out there. I've been out to speak with our folks several times, and I've been briefed in detail on it. And I followed the course of the U.S. Security Coordinator's work over the course of 5-some weeks. Yeah. So I'm intimately involved. I have not seen the actual report by letter. And if I could just explain, I haven't seen that second letter principally because I just came back into town on the weekend, and I've been really focused on this testimony. But
I appreciate that. Well, if you could take a look at it, because we asked for a response by last week.
Okay.
So if you could get back to us maybe yes. later today to tell us
sure.
when we can expect a response on that. And we asked for a significant amount of information regarding that report, which, as you know, just stapled the PA report and the IDF report together and then reached some conclusions, so that was not an independent report. I don't think anybody has said it is. If I could just also bring to your attention the fact that the chairman of the full committee here, Senator Menendez and Senator Booker, have asked for a senior-level classified briefing on the state of the investigation. So, look, I am concerned that the administration is not giving this the attention it deserves. The Secretary says things like an independent investigation, which he did say, and we've called for accountability about an American journalist who got shot and killed. We have expressed our desire and our determination to protect journalists around the world, especially in conflict zones. And this is a journalist who was wearing full press regalia at the time she was shot and killed. So there are a number of us that are not going to allow this to be swept under the rug, and we're looking for answers.
Thank you, Senator. I completely take all of your points. I can tell you the Secretary had a lengthy discussion with Defense Minister Gantz. I want to say it was a week ago, and he has been pressing for accountability. But I will be happy to come back to you on all of these issues you raise.
Well, thank you, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just say an independent report does not include a PA report, and an independent report does not include an IDF report. That's why members of this committee have asked for American involvement in the investigation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.